Okay, so just we'll go through to the welcome from the NIHR Academy. The NIHR, what is the NIHR? The National Institute for Health and Social Care Research has been established since 2006. Steve and I were just talking about, Steve was lucky enough to be around when Dame Sally Davis took the 1% funding off the every NHS organisation across England had to spend 1% of their budget on research and development, and it didn't matter how big the organisation was, 1% of their budget was spent on research. And of course what that meant is that research was neither strategic nor impactful, and often funding was put on areas such as research administration or funding usually medics to do small N=20 studies that made absolutely no difference to patient care. So Dame Sally said 1% of the NHS budget, at the time it was £1 billion, I'll take that and I'll create the National Institute for Health Research, and that's exactly what she did. Now, it's evolved over those years since Dame Sally developed it, but it invests in lots of things. So it invests in you, so it invests in the infrastructure, it invests in programs, it invests in programs such as HTA, such as Research for Patient Benefit, and it's kind of this huge system, ecosystem that it actually funds. But it's still the Department of Health and Social Care funding, and that's always really important when you're looking at getting NIHR funding, that you're really taking money away from frontline services, so it better be relevant to the NHS and Department of Health and Social Care. And these are the aims of the NIHR mission is to improve the health and wealth of the nation through research. And it's the one part of the budget in the last 16 years that hasn't been cut. And I'd love to say that that's because everyone thinks that research is a good thing. That is part of it, but a really big part of it is the wealth of the nation. And so that's around doing things more cost effectively and also engaging in with industry. So the UK and the Office of Life Science is a place to do research, and COVID demonstrated that incredibly well. So these are the aims of the NIHR. And again, if you're looking at NIHR funding, these are the things you should be looking at in framing your research question. And importantly, where the Academy lies is we attract, train and support the best researchers. And we like to think we're looking at the best researchers for not just current needs, but also future needs. So the Academy, it develops and coordinates academic training, and career development and research capacity. So we run a leadership program, we run a mentorship program. So there's a number of different elements that the Academy runs. It manages the national competitions for training and career development awards, so the personal fellowships. It also looks at attracting, training and supporting people by conducting leading edge research focused on the needs of patients in the community, and importantly developing the skills of the next generation for health and social care research. Now, the criticism of the NIHR Academy is that it's confusing, and it is. And when we did their review of training in 2017, led by Dave Jones, one of the criticism was that accessing the different fellowships was confusing. And I think that's fine. I think how we present it isn't, and we're going to be looking at changing that. But the reason why we've got so many different fellowships is that it can't be a one-size-fits-all for all of our researchers. So we know that healthcare professionals have a different experience. The medics that have a different experience to social care, they have a different experience to epidemiologists. And so this is why this program looks a little bit crazy. What we need to do is to change it so that for most people, for everyone, there's a pre-doctoral, postdoctoral or doctoral postdoctoral award, and that finding the right one for you is kind of really what we need to do. So this is kind of what the Academy offers at the moment. And these are the postdoctoral opportunities that you probably should be thinking about. So you're eligible to apply for a Development Skills and Enhancement Award, and you may have just seen that we've opened this up to everyone. This used to be only eligible for NIHR Academy members. But this Development Skills and Enhancement Award is a really important award, and when it was developed it was called Bridging with Purpose. So it was around skill development that takes you to the next step. Apply for it, look at it. This is something that you should be applying for. We have the Advanced Fellowship for all people. So this is the first of your postdoc awards, and you can have two postdoc awards within the NIHR. For healthcare professionals, nurses, midwives, allied health professionals, pharmacists and healthcare scientists, there's the Advanced Clinical and Practitioner Academic Fellowships, which are ridiculously generous, where you can get up to half your time, or 2 days a week, sorry, of your clinical time paid for by their fellowship. So you're in, if you'd like, supernumerary to your trust. There's a clinical lectureship for medics and dentists, and there's the Advanced Local Authority Academic Fellowships, particularly for social care workers. So a lot of opportunities. But there are other funders available, and this quite unattractive diagram has been developed by one of our research development managers at Leeds University. But it gives you an idea that there are so many different opportunities for postdoc awards, of which NIHR is just one funder. And so you might find that you were more likely to be aligned with Wellcome or with a charity or with the MRC. So it really depends on your remit, but there are lots of opportunities. So what we'd like you to do in terms of when you're here and when you're at home is to think about and seek more information around the type of opportunities that you may be eligible for. Look at the NIHR website, look at other funder websites to see what the remit are, what's expected. If we're going to, for most postdoc awards, they're usually around over like between 1 million and 1.2 million. If we're going to ask you to apply for that, we'd like you to read the guidance, and I think MRC and Wellcome would probably say the same thing. So make sure that you're reading the guidance, you're following the rules. They're there to help you, not to be a barrier. Follow us on Twitter, on the NIHR community, so there's lots of news stories coming out around new opportunities. Follow us on LinkedIn, where there's an NIHR newsletter that includes funding alerts, and you can get that and stay up to date. And just contact us at the NIHR Academy. If you've got any inquiries. It's one of the delightful things is when I first came to the UK, I was used to working with charities that would keep funders that would keep you at an arm's length. The NIHR is not like that. They absolutely want to help in making sure you're putting your best application and most relevant application forward.